can the human body actually regrow a severed arm just like a salamander does? What's the ultimate secret that lets this tiny creature totally replace its entire limbs while we're just left stuck out of luck? And why on earth do humans carry the exact same gene responsible for this absolute miracle, but it just completely refuses to work for us? See, a salamander isn't just your average everyday creature, it can literally regrow an entire arm or leg in just a few short weeks after losing it. Like, we're talking about completely rebuilding bones, muscles, nerves, and blood vessels with absolute mind-blowing precision. This insane superpower has had scientists completely losing their minds with wonder for centuries. Because get this, a recent study just found out that this specific gene called HAN2 plays a massive, total game-changing role in directing this whole process. And it doesn't even work alone, it actually orchestrates the activity of a huge lineup of other genes, acting just like a maestro conducting an orchestra to give every single instrument its perfect cue. So like, the second a salamander loses a limb, these specialized cells immediately rush to the wound to form this crazy little bump called a regeneration blastema. And that's exactly when the HAN2 gene steps up to the plate, totally micromanaging those cells and telling them exactly what kind of tissue they need to become and right where they need to go. Plus, this gene goes into absolute overdrive during the very first days after the limb is gone. Like, if scientists experimentally switch it off, the whole regeneration process completely grinds to a halt, leaving behind a totally deformed limb. This proves that HAN2 isn't just some random helper gene, it is the literal master switch that turns on the entire rebuilding process. And as for humans, we actually carry pretty much the exact same gene. We have a twin version chilling in our DNA that goes to work while we're still embryos. Like, this gene literally helps build our heart and limbs during the very first month of pregnancy, but then it completely clocks out after birth and flat out refuses to wake up when we get injured. This massive difference brings up a huge question. Why on earth doesn't HAN2 work in humans the way it does in salamanders? Well, scientists think it all boils down to a crazy complex regulatory network inside our own cells that basically locks down and blocks any kind of reprogramming. It's like nature decided to keep this mind-blowing superpower exclusive to just a few chosen creatures while leaving the rest of us out. So, if we could just crack the code on how this gene actually gets switched on in salamanders, we could totally apply that exact same trick to human cells in a lab. Like, researchers have already successfully hyped up mouse heart cells to start dividing all over again using similar genes, which completely blows the door wide open for some seriously hopeful future treatments. On top of that, this research could totally lead to some groundbreaking new strategies for treating spinal cord injuries, since the HAN2 gene is a major player in guiding nerve growth. Like, if we could just temporarily switch it on right at the injury site, those nerve cells could actually start rebuilding their damaged connections step by step. Like, we could totally fast-track the healing of broken bones or repair wrecked muscles using tech that's based on this exact gene. Right now, a fractured leg bone can take months to fully heal up, but by triggering a mechanism just like this, that time could drop down to mere weeks and the newly formed tissue would be way better quality too. So if progress keeps moving at this crazy pace, we might actually make the dream of human limb regeneration a reality in the future. But scientists are keeping it real. They emphasize that we've still got a seriously long road ahead because full-on regeneration requires a massive team effort between hundreds of genes and chemical signals, meaning HAN2 definitely isn't the only magic bullet here. Like, even the salamander itself needs anywhere from 30 to 60 days to completely regrow a whole limb depending on its size and age. For instance, the little babies can totally snap back and regenerate way faster than the adults. Plus, things like the temperature and how much food they're getting play a massive role in how fast the whole thing goes down. This just goes to show that regeneration is a totally packaged deal that's completely intertwined with the creature's environment. And wild enough, there are actually totally different types of salamanders out there that vary like crazy in their regeneration superpowers. Like, some of them can literally regrow their own heart and even parts of their brain, while others can totally patch up their spinal cords. This insane variety gives researchers a whole lineup of different models to study, meaning every single one of these unique mechanisms could eventually key us into a specific, life-changing human treatment. So these results are a massive monumental step toward totally cracking the biological code of natural regeneration. Like, every single new discovery brings us closer to answering that age-old question, how do we rebuild what's broken? And honestly, maybe one day, losing a limb won't be the end of the world for a human, but just a problem we can totally fix. These absolutely mind-blowing superpowers that the Creator packed into a tiny little creature like the salamander just totally remind us of the sheer grandeur of design in every single living thing. Glory be to the one who created and perfectly proportioned everything, who ordained and guided and who made every single cell a living proof of his flawless, masterful workmanship.